Hello, everyone. Here's another bite-sized episode of Hospitality Huddles, where we get together with the Auden team and we talk about little niche topics that can help you in your operation. Bal is with me today. Bal, how are you? All good?
I'm very good. Very, very good.
Awesome. And today we're going to talk about a really simple three-step process to create a strategy in your operation. And this one was done, I think I did a video on this actually, when we were at New Forest Collection. And our brief was to create the F&B strategy for their 6 hotels that can take them through with Rocking and Partners, who are some really good guys who do management of independent hotel groups. So I'm going to go through the 3 steps. We can have a chat. And then, hopefully there's some key takeaways. So basically what we want to do is when we go into any business, at the start of any business, and this isn't necessarily when we wanted to create a strategy. This is if we're looking at concept development, if we're looking at existing operations, whatever it might be, we always kind of follow this 3-step principle that helps us understand the business so that we can then make informed decisions and recommendations based on what we think the direction should be. So those 3 things are listen, analyze, and observe. So we're going to go through them in order, nice and quick, give you a couple of tips to do for each that'll then help you formulate kind of direction. So the first one, Bal, is listen. And this is the one where we, first of all, when we go into operations, we try and look at as many touch points as we can to understand what people think about that venue, restaurant, hotel operation, wherever it might be. So that could be guests, that could be stakeholders, that could be owners, but as most importantly, it's the team on the floor that's working in the particular places that we're doing. So if we take 2 examples of where we've done it. So New Forest Collection, we went in, we spoke to every single GM of every single hotel, we spoke to every single exec chef, but we also spoke to the breakfast servers. We also spoke to the bar guys. We spoke to the guys on the floor, and we really just asked them around what is their frustrations in the business. And we're not, we're looking primarily at food and beverage. That's what our gig is. So it's not, the staff food isn't good enough and stuff like that. It is very focused. So, what's their frustrations? What makes their life difficult? What is really good about what they do? What do the guests love about the venue? And what are the guest comments that come back? And we collate all that data. We do the same thing with guests, whether that's through online reviews, surveys, just talking to people in restaurants, and the same thing with owners and things like that. And this is a really important one, isn't it? To really kind of set the scene for the next couple of topics.
Yeah. The one thing you said is when how much you listen to the team, like, I'm not saying everyone. There's plenty of people who do what we do and then go in and they're sitting in a room or in, a nice office and they're talking to the owner who they're developing the concept with, the strategy, the advisory, whatever their scope of work may be. And it's just sitting and they're going, okay, right now, yeah, we've got everything we need. They're not delivering on the floor. They're not delivering that guest interaction, the food. Listening to the team actively, like just what they're saying. Listening to them in operation. That might be active and like passive listening. And by that I mean is how they're calling each other for the food. What you're listening to the process they're doing with each other, and then you get nuances. You get nuances of frustration, so that, and really going like, tell me in normal language, what's your biggest ball aches? They'll tell you.
Yeah.
They will tell you. And they always have the answers. They probably don't know how to articulate them or transform them into like making something happen, but you will get, and like the team is massive. And then the other thing I would say is the consumer, for sure, all the different channels you mentioned. Because I think the owner or the senior leaders in that, they're probably the last. Yes, they're appointing you and they're going to sign off your invoice and your bills, but they're the last people you probably want to listen to in that sense, because they're not doing the bits and they're not receiving the product. So the team and the guests, massive.
Yeah.
in different day parts, all all that sort of stuff.
I mean, that's the key, isn't it? Because you don't want to create something that, let's take flows, for example. When we did the foxels, we could have done so many things in there, but if we didn't fix the workflow and the frustrations of the team, nothing was going to be successful because it was too difficult to operate. And that became a big part of our strategy was, yes, we need to do the concept stuff and the product things. But if we don't do this bit as well in terms of helping with workflow and some of these elements that go with it, we're not going to achieve success. And we wouldn't have got that by talking to the stakeholders. So I think it's one of those where it's really important. And I think, some people might be sitting there now going, oh, I'm just going to get everyone moaning at me and all the rest of it. It's interesting how when you come into a business objective, something that you think might have been people moaning when you were in an operation actually isn't when you're objective to a situation. And I think the other thing is what we find when we go into places is it's very, very rare we get one person with a different point of view. Generally, and it's back to your point, what you were saying is sometimes they can't articulate it, but when you really like see the underlying elements of everything, you get the same principle at the end. And some people might have different frustrations caused by the same thing. And it's about going, but is that really the problem? Or is it less? Like I had this conversation with my son the other day, and he said something to me, and I was like, but is that really the problem? And he was like, yeah. And I went, is it though? Like, is there something else causing that? And he was like, actually, yeah, it was, I can't remember what it was, but it was something. And it was like, this is what we get, isn't it? In when we're speaking to teams sometimes is they'll be like, I don't know, the food always takes forever. Yeah, but that isn't the problem. That's the result. So like, why is it taking forever? Oh, because of X, Y, Z. Ah, okay. And why is that? Ah, because of X, Y. Okay. So that's the root cause of the problem, not the bigger problem. So I think it's that when you're doing that listening piece, it's like, how do you keep challenging and how do you keep kind of trying to find what really is the root cause? Because you'll end up affecting people in different ways. And I think that listen bit, especially for the team, is key. And it's what creates the best strategies going forwards. Next one is analyze. So we've got all this information from listening, we've got it all noted down, we've seen everything there. We then go into any data set that we can find in that business to verify what people are saying to us when we do the listening process. That could be sales mix, that could be inventory, that could be purchase reports, that could be guest feedback, that could be social comments, it could be social reviews, it could be anything that can create us factual data. And I think on this analyze bit, it's where you pull facts to back up opinions, which comes in the listening stage, to marry the two together to go, actually, we've got this concern from the listen. We've got this fact backed up in the analyze section that go together to go, actually, we've got something here which seems like an opportunity to make things stronger, make things better, make things more efficient. And that analyze piece is the next stage that's really important, isn't it? Looking at how you can back everything up with fact and data to show you where the issues are.
Yeah, the key thing I think you've said is any data set. It doesn't matter in what
Mm.
form it's in. In an ideal world, what you don't want to be doing is putting it into some sort of format. But
Yeah.
anyway, I digress. The data about absolutely everything. There may be issues with the quality. They may be going, oh, this is a great product, and everyone hates making it, and we don't sell any, and they may do. You see what I mean? So sales mixes like um I'm losing my chain of thought. Inventory reports, cost
Mm.
reports,
Mm.
guest feedback, and sales mixes, and then like food cost reports. Them three are they're intertwined, and you'll
Yeah.
find the ones that will get you the information you've been told. So then you
Mm.
go like, they're now not opinions. We now got the data. The data is saying what the opinions, which then makes the opinion fact.
Mm.
And then you can start going like, we got a base now. We got a
Yeah.
base of information. It's all been validated because of X, Y, and Z. And really, when you're in an operation, especially like a busy one or a big one, like it may be a big hotel with loads of different areas and different departments, it may be super high volume. The facts and the data matter so much more. And what happens is you know you have all this information, you got this all singing, dancing system, but you it's easy to put it on the back burner because you're busy doing something,
Yeah.
you know. But they normally do is if you not great at talking to people, I would definitely go to them data sets because you get
Yeah.
so many answers. It gives you loads of questions as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. The only thing I'll finish on there is um comments without data are opinions,
Yeah,
and data without comment is out of context.
correct.
So it's really key that both of those go together. And then the final one. So we've done the listening. We've got where the challenges may be. We've backed it up with facts. So now we've got factual data that says this is something we should be looking at. The
Mhm.
final one is then observe. So from there, then we go into those areas where there might be opportunity and we watch what's going on. We look at why it's happening. We look at what the potential problems could be. And from there, we get opportunity or strategy or direction that goes, we can do XYZ if we do this, because this is a challenge for the guests or the team. The data is suggesting that this is the same as well. And once we've observed it, we go, it's definitely an issue, and these are the potential ways we can change it. And this is the cost impact, people impact, revenue impact, whatever it might be that goes with it. And I think backing everything up with that observation is really key, isn't it? In terms of you physically seeing those challenges in action and talking through with people what solutions might be.
Yeah, and the other thing, like we've said about the data and we've said about the listening, when you're observing, it's the range. You know, it's not just like, oh, we're going to go and we're going to order a couple of plates of food at lunchtime, and that's not giving you everything. So you have to do a range of observations on all parts of, what you've kind of been assigned or brought into to tackle. It's seeing the operation, it's seeing how the kit works, it's seeing the workflows, it's seeing reactions from the guests, it's seeing how the guest journey goes. There's so many touch points to observe. Um, it might be the receiving, it might be a food cost issue you've been asked to do. So you're going to start from, okay, when is the food? What's happening as soon as the food comes into the building to it being prepped,
Mhm.
and even before it comes into it, how is it being ordered? Recently we were on a project, and they were receiving orders via WhatsApp, um, and they were spending hours and hours and hours siphoning through them orders and then getting him to, and then they had a load of complaints from the sites.
Mm.
But if you didn't see or you weren't there to connect that little dot, it wouldn't happen. So the range of observation is key,
Mm.
absolutely key. You need to be looking at absolutely everything.
100%. So there it is. 10 minutes. How to create a really simple strategy for your operation moving forwards. I think this is one of those where if you can get a discipline where every 3 months, 4 months, you're going through this process, sitting with teams, looking at guests, looking at that listening element, getting the data to back it up and analyzing, and then going in and observing, you can be running a really strategic 3 month, 4 month review of your business every month, which is every year, sorry, which is going to help really drive things forward, make it a much easier place for your people to work, make it a much more enjoyable place for your guests to visit, and it's going to get you focusing on the big things rather than kind of firefighting on a day-to-day basis because you're not stepping back from the business and looking at what's really making an impact. And uh, I think this is a really important one to do in terms of really analyzing your business, and we do this a lot when we're looking at Auden. We've just done it with Richard, obviously, Richard Liverman from Richard Solutions, where we've stepped back, looked at the business, we've listened to what our guests were telling us. We were talking to each other and what's there. We looked at the data and we analyzed like what we are and what we're about. And then we really looked at how we can work those solutions moving forwards and how we can make an impact on the people that we work with because of it. So I think it's really important to do that in every operation moving forwards from there. So I think this is an episode that will really help people if they can implement it into the business.
Yeah, 100%. And it's simple.
100%. And if you're listening to this again and you've got to this part and you've listened to us all the way through and you've got an operation that you're struggling because you're so in it that you need someone else to come in, and I had this conversation with an owner of a hotel yesterday. Actually, it was just like, we don't know what the way forward is. And I was saying, we do this process, we listen, we analyze, we observe, and we help put a framework in that can give direction and strategy moving forwards. So if you're there and you're in a situation where you just can't see the wood for the trees, and you know that something needs to happen, you might need some people to come in and just give a really objective view on your business, then get in touch with us, info@audenhospitality.com, because we're doing this on a regular basis. There's a case study on our website for New Forest collection as well that you'd be able to look at how we worked and how we developed that out for the team from it. But another good episode, Bal. And if you have more subjects that you'd like us to cover, podcast@audenhospitality.com, or go look at some of the other episodes that we've got on our YouTube channel. Auden Hospitality is the handle, or Spotify and Apple have the episodes coming out every single Friday. Nice one. I like that one, Bal. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm looking forward to receiving some interesting ones, or maybe some out the box that we can try and tackle.
Out of the box, right? Definitely. We should do that. I might do something out on LinkedIn as well and see if we can drive some stuff through. That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one. Right. Nice one. Thanks, Bal. Have a great one. And we're off on to another meet now with a client. So I'll see you in the jiffy.